Time is something you can spend a lot of it, and guess what? You'll never get it back. So how your time is spent is so important. If you want to if you want to talk about time and how valuable time is and what your time is worth, you want to share this video out with your friends so that they can learn about time and how they can spend their time more wisely. Not only that, I want to talk about how so often, I know so many people, especially women, you women, I'm talking to you girls. So here's the thing. So often you undervalue your time. I was talking to a friend just the other day, and she was talking about how her prices were really low. And so I asked her, well, how low are they, and what she wants to raise them to. Well, in actuality, she was volunteering, so they were free. That's how low her price was. It was zero. So since she was volunteering her time, but she was volunteering a lot of hours and not gaining anything in return. Now, even when we volunteer, like say you volunteer for a nonprofit, maybe you're doing some volunteer work for a company because you want to get your foot in the door, there's always a return. So the return is a return on investment or a return on emotion. So if you're volunteering for example, for a nonprofit, most likely your return is a return on emotion. You're gaining some positive feedback from it. You're having that possibility of gaining, I don't know, just the good feelings of knowing that you did something good for somebody, right? But now if you're doing free volunteer work for something that's like a business or something, and your gain there is getting a job, maybe you're going to get an increase in salary, maybe you're going to get experience that's going to catapult you to the next company you join or what have you. So it doesn't matter what it is that you're doing it for. But I want you to start thinking about your time and how valuable your time is. So there's somebody, I was talking to somebody about Tony Robbins just the other day, and I don't remember exactly how much he charges, but what I heard, and I should have found this out before I did the video, but what I heard is that he charges $1 million to join his mastermind, $1 million a year. And what I understand is you get to meet with him for 10 minutes a month. That's my understanding. I could be totally wrong on that. I don't know. Is that what you heard?
Mm-hmm.
No. What did you hear?
It's less than that. I think it's 50,000.
50,000, but you get to meet with him for only a few minutes,
and then you get to hang out at his island in Bali. I have a buddy of mine who's actually it's called the Platinum Mastermind.
But that's not the one-on-one coaching with him, though?
I think so.
Well, it's a mastermind, though, right? I'm going to find out, and I'm going to post it below because I'm really kind of curious. The point I'm making with this whole thing is, why is Tony Robbins' time worth more money than yours? Why? It's because the knowledge he has, because the way he's charismatic and getting people to join his programs. What is it? So what is it that you have to offer that is worth a lot of money as well? So start looking at all of the things you do, all of the knowledge you have. By the way, that's Alvin. Say hi, Alvin.
Hi, Alvin.
All of the knowledge that you have, and find out how you can apply that and make some money from it. So often we have these gifts that we've been given and we don't use them, or when we use them, they're so easy to us that we don't see the value in it. So I'll give an example. I have an ability, like one of the gifts that I have is being able to help people break through fears so that they'll do the things that they're too scared to do. And I never saw that as something that was of value until somebody reached out to me and said, hey, can you coach me with my fears? And I was like, oh yeah, of course. I didn't know how much to charge. I had no idea because I had never charged for that before. So when you're trying to figure out your price point, what you want to do is come up with a figure that feels good for you, but it's pushing you just a little bit further, because most likely the rate that you come up with is not going to be the rate that people are willing to pay. They're willing to pay more. So then you come up with that price that feels good for you, and you use that price. Then what you do is maybe a month later, when that issue comes up again, you raise your price, and you keep raising your price until you've hit a point where people are like, no, it's too expensive. No, it's too expensive. Then you just drop it back down a little bit, but don't drop it back down to where you started. I made that mistake. I made the mistake. Yeah, I dropped it way down low because I got scared. I got scared because nobody wanted to pay the price anymore. So it's just a matter of finding out what's that sticky point. But what is your time worth? If you're going to be spending, hours and hours with somebody, every week, every month, or what have you, what is your time worth? Time is something you'll never get back. And you want to make sure that the time that you're spending is time that's spent wisely. Like, for example, right now, Alvin and I, we're on the road. We're heading to Long Beach from San Diego, California. Say hi, Alvin.
Hi, Alvin.
So right now we're here at Junipero Serra Road, but we're heading up to Long Beach because we're going to be meeting with a potential client. So, getting in the car, driving up there, meeting with him in person, this was really important for us to do. It's like a networking move, if you want to call it that. But we're doing this trip because we know that it's possible that we have the services that he needs and wants, and then he's ready to hire, so we are heading up there. So we're spending our time wisely. So make sure that the time that you are spending is spent wisely. If you're doing things for people that aren't appreciating you or aren't paying you, I had this one job, I worked for this lawyer, and she was very, very difficult to work for. Everybody was like, how can you stand working for her? She's so mean. Well, I didn't think she was mean. I just thought she was demanding. But I used to say that I deserve hazard pay, because literally you had to have a hard hat on when you were working for her, because she was very, very tough. And so again, hazard pay, right? So I wanted more money because I was going to be putting up with more stuff. So if you're going to be doing something that you're not enjoying it, or it's really, really hard, and it's like your time it causes you frustration, at least make sure you're being compensated for it financially. Now, my real recommendation is to stop doing it. Whatever's causing you frustration, anger, emotions that are negative emotions, my recommendation is to stop doing that, because I believe in spending like the rest of my life, at least, having as much fun as possible. So those things that frustrate me, I actually do eliminate those from my life. But I know it's hard. I know it's hard because I wasn't like that always. I used to do a lot of things that frustrated me, but I've discovered that my time here on earth is too precious. So I'm going to make sure I spend my time having as much fun as possible and eliminating those frustrations, those things that cause me anger and cause me to be upset. Eliminate those from my life so that I can live that fun life that I want to live. So just remember, your time is extremely precious. And if you are, say you have a business and you're charging, I don't know, I just throw numbers out there. Say you're charging $25 an hour, but you know that what you do is worth more money, just start asking for more money. It's that simple. It's gonna be difficult, maybe it'll feel awkward, maybe it'll feel weird, but once you do it time and time again, it gets easier and easier and easier. So just really quick before we go, I'll share with one of my clients. Last year, her rate was $30 an hour for what she does. And she was just feeling so frustrated because she was making only $30 an hour. She knew that what she was doing was worth a lot more money. So what we worked through was, she did have a fear, and her fear was of asking, but she also had a fear of success. She also had a fear of failure. So oftentimes people will have both of those fears, the fear of success and failure. So what we did is we worked on her fears, and then next thing you know, well, within, I think it was 6 months, she was charging $90 an hour. Imagine giving yourself a 300% raise. You can do that if you have your own business. You can give yourself a raise every day if you want. It's up to you. But you can keep on raising it up until people start saying no. Just keep going up and up and up and see what other people think the value is. Let them decide for you. Don't decide for yourself. That's one thing I've discovered, is because letting other people decide the value is a lot easier, because they'll tell you how much they will pay and how much they won't pay. So that's Linda West with Living Live, and really excited to see what you do with your time. Again, if you found this video to be valuable, please share it out on your timeline. And then if you'd like to hop on a 30-minute call with me, there's a lot we can do in 30 minutes. Let's get on a 30-minute call to see if there's some fear that you have that I can help you through. Maybe it's a fear of raising your rates. You're not sure the value that you have. Let's hop on that call. So go to livinglive.tv/30. Again, that's livinglive.tv/30. Have a great day, and remember to value yourself. Because if you don't value yourself, others won't value you. Bye-bye now.